please welcome Martin Perelmuter.
So I'm 18 years old, and I'm standing in a gym in London, Ontario. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm hot, and I'm sweaty, and I'm tired, and I'm frustrated. I'm on an intramural basketball team, and we suck. We've played 7 games so far, and we've lost all 7. And we're actually not bad basketball players individually, but we just can't come together as a team. And the thing that's really frustrating is the team that just beat us, we know we're better than them, and yet they still kicked our butts. So most of the people have left. There's about 3 or 4 of us sitting around kind of complaining and feeling sorry for ourselves. And my friend Sam, who's the eternal optimist, jumps on his feet, big smile on his face, and he said, guys, we're going to win next week. And he's wearing his LA Lakers number 32 Irvin Magic Johnson jersey. Okay, everyone knows who Magic is. If you have a nickname and you play basketball or any sport for that matter, Magic is a good name, good nickname. It means you're a magician, right? You can do the impossible. And so Sam jumps up with his Magic Johnson jersey and he says, guys, we're going to win next week. And if you need a last-minute shot, just get the ball to Magic. And he picks up the ball, he takes a couple dribbles, he's around half court, and he heaves it towards the basket. And the ball's sailing through the air, and we're all sitting there watching it, and it just goes right over the backboard. Not even close. But we all crack up, and now we're feeling a little bit better, and we all take turns taking these desperation, Hail Mary shots, and we all miss. And then eventually the janitor comes and kicks us out of the gym, and we all walk back to our dorms, and it's a cold November evening, and that was the end of that night. About 3 nights later, we're having dinner in our dorm at Saugeen Maitland at University of Western Ontario. Thank you. And we're having dinner, and at the end of dinner, my roommate and I head back up to our room, and Sam was going out. And unfortunately, that was the last time that I'd see him alive. Unfortunately, he was involved in a terrible car accident that evening, and he didn't make it through. So we found out the next morning and headed back into Toronto on the train. The funeral was on Sunday, and it was just, the worst day, the worst weekend of my life up to that point. And my parents, I remember, forced me to go back up to school that afternoon, which was really nice. So after the funeral, I came home, and I thought I'm going to take a few days, and they basically put me on the train. They said, you got to go back to school. You got to finish up the semester. There's 3 weeks left. And so I went back up, not happy about it, but got back up to London and got back to my dorm room and called up my friend Bram, who's also on the team, who was there that night, and also a good friend of Sam. We'd gone to summer camp together for years. And so we're just chatting and just sort of in a state of shock and disbelief. And then we said, hey, by the way, we have a basketball game tomorrow night, right? I guess we should just forfeit that. And so it was kind of the last thing on our mind, but we said, let's call around to the other guys, see what they want to do. And so we called the other guys on the team, and it was kind of unanimous. Everybody said, let's play. And it kind of sounds cheesy saying it now, but we said, that Sam would want us to play the game. Let's play the game. So we show up at the gym the next night, Monday night, a week after the previous game. And when we get there, we realize we're playing the first place team. Great. Our shitty week is about to get a lot worse. I mean, as if we haven't been through enough. Now we got to get our asses kicked for the next hour. And we'd played these guys about a month before, and they beat us by 30 points. So we were just like, oh, God. So the game starts, and some weird things start happening. We actually start gelling and playing together as a team, and we're making crisp passes, and we're hitting shots that we don't normally make, and we're playing as well as we could possibly play. That's the good news. The bad news is, at halftime, we're still losing, even though we're playing the best game we've played by far. But it's only 2 points. It's 34-32. We're down by 2 points, and we've got a little break at halftime. We're like, guys, we could actually win this game. Let's keep it up. Second half starts, and they immediately get the first 4 baskets in the second half, and now we're down by 10. So we call a timeout. We're in the huddle. We're like, guys, we got to keep it together. We got to keep this thing going, and we can beat these guys. And we keep playing, and the rest of the second half, we're playing pretty well. We're staying in the game. We're chipping away at their lead. And with a couple minutes left, we're just down by 3 points. And we've got the ball, and we come down, and we score a basket. And there's less than a minute to go, and we're down by 1. So there's no shot clock in intramural basketball at University of Western Ontario. It's so the other team doesn't have to take a shot. They can just dribble out the clock. So we call a timeout after we score, and we say, guys, okay, we got to do a trap defense, full court press, whatever we got to do to get the ball, we got to do it. And if we can't steal the ball from them, then we got to foul them and hope that they miss one or both of the free throws. So they come down the court, and they're just dribbling the clock down, and we're scrambling all over the place trying to steal the ball. And then we sort of call it a sign foul because we got to foul them, and then we get a lucky break. They dribble, one of the guys dribbles the ball off his leg, it goes out of bounds, and it's our ball, and there's about 7 seconds left on the clock. So we call our last timeout, and we drop a play, right? So we've got our power forward, Dwayne. He's the fullback on the Western Mustangs football team. He's about 6'2", 230 pounds. He's our power forward. He never shoots from more than a few feet away from the basket, but he's really good at rebounding, and he's really good at setting picks, right? So the plan is Dwayne's going to set a pick, and myself and Bram are going to come around the pick, and whoever's open, he's going to get the ball to, and we can run it down and hopefully get a last-second shot. So the referee blows the whistle, and Sean, who's the guy throwing the ball in bounds, is getting ready to inbound the ball, and he slaps the ball to sort of signify the start of the play, and Dwayne sets a pick, and both Bram and I come around the pick, but neither of us can get open. They're much better than us and quicker than us, and other guys cover us, and neither of us are open, and the referee's counting 2, 3, 4. In basketball, you got 5 seconds to get the ball in bounds. And so Sean's got to just get the ball in bounds, or the game's essentially going to be over. So he inbounds the ball to the only guy who's open, which is Dwayne, who's the guy setting the pick. And so Dwayne gets the ball, looks around to see if he can pass it to anyone. There's nobody open. In the meantime, I had come curling back towards the ball to see if I could get open coming back around, but I was basically behind and beside him. So Dwayne takes a couple dribbles. He comes up near half court, and he launches the ball. And the weird thing is I was just coming around behind him, and as soon as the ball left his hand, I could see that it was off to the right. So the first thing that went through my head was, oh well, we gave it a good shot. Nothing to be ashamed of, losing to the best team in the league by 1 point. But then something really weird started to happen. As the ball came out of his hand and was off to the right, it started to curve back towards the net. Now, for those of you who play sports, you know you can curve a baseball, right? You can bend a soccer ball, but you can't curve a basketball. It just doesn't happen, except that it did. And so the ball is sailing through the air, clock's winding down, 2 seconds, 1 second, and as the buzzer goes to end the game, the ball goes in the basket. So we start jumping up and down like maniacs, right? We're like jumping on Dwayne. I'm crying my eyes out. The other team thinks we're the biggest bunch of losers ever. See, they have no idea what's happened, so they think I'm crying because we won an intramural basketball game. But it was all the emotion from the last few days came out, and we just let it all out. We were just hugging each other and crying, and that was the only game we won all season. But it was the only one that mattered. Thanks.